Hello. Good evening and welcome to Hang Out in the Crib. Hefe is opening a beer. Mine is already open. It is the last beer in my house, by the way, so I'm quite concerned. Anyway, so welcome to Hang Out in the Crib. I am the BP Prof. Tonight we have Hefe
Hello.
and Disturbed One,
Hello.
and we're going to talk about Battle Pirates stuff. The whip just came out. There's a whole bunch of TLCs, and I'm a little frazzled because I stayed late at work and was stuck in traffic, and now I'm here. But anyway, unless you guys have anything else to open up with, I will share my screen, and we can get started. Why am I... Oh, I should do this. And do that. Are we seeing my screen?
Yeah, it shows. Yep, we're good.
Cool. All right. So TLCpalooza. All right. Bug fix. Hooray. Congreve rockets. Those are on Megaships. It's visual. Like her butt in a bug.
Yeah. Well, and also, I don't think she realizes, like Kickseye, that the bug is a rear-engine vehicle. So I'm not really sure what she's doing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can move on.
All right. So let's go through the calendar because there's a lot on it. Let's see. The Megaship TLC just ended.
Yes.
I did not get my Congreve rockets. I can talk about that later. And then we've got two TLCs going on. We've got War Games, where you're hitting bases, and Choke Point Elite. And
Yeah, we got 4 going on. That's why I named it such.
wait, what's Dark Rain?
Dark Rain is the one that you just finished. That you finished, but it's still got another couple days left on it. Dark Rain's the one where you won the Vanquisher and everything else.
Oh, sorry. Like I said, I'm a little frazzled.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
you can finish Dark Rain 2 as well, which is probably actually out of all these, it's probably the best one to do, don't you think? Get Vendettas.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing they've done in a long time as far as listening to the players.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that was the one where I got the build token and finished my Megaship. Now I remember. It's all coming back to me.
Should have watched the Friday show.
I should have watched the Friday show, but we'll get to that. Okay. So, lots of campaigns going on. Lots of good prizes in the campaigns, actually. So, do them, I guess, if you feel like it. But the prizes are worth it. Like I said, Vendetta, Zoe's Apollo, Harlock's Citadel coming out of Dark Rain. We got Retribution coming out of War Games 2.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of Hyperion build tokens.
And out of Choke Point Elite, you have a chance to get 5 7-day structure build tokens. So 35 days.
Yes.
And we'll get into that a little bit later as far as the fact it's better than you expect.
Yeah, and then if you are still kind of a lower level person, don't have rhinos, don't have some good missile equipment, the regular choke point is also out there. You can get Harrier missiles and rhinos and stuff. So
Savage Kodiak.
And Savage Kodiak.
Yes.
I've just covered under stuff.
Okay. For the some people that's the most important part, but go on.
Fair enough. Okay, and then we've got tomorrow a open preview for the new Conqueror Hall. I guess it might even be a raid preview. No, actually, it's not a raid preview. It's just a prize preview, and they're going to be encouraging PvP with no bubbles in that preview. Those are actually kind of fun if you can get in particular. And then on Friday is the September raid target preview, where they're going to take another shot at these sub-oriented targets. All right. And then in a week is the Phantom Warfare TLC. Hefe, you made a slide for that one, right?
Yeah, quick and dirty one. I just made it in the last 5 minutes.
Excellent. And then on the 15th, 2 weeks away, is Rise of the Warlords. And that's pretty cool because we get an extra Forsaken Mission week between campaigns, between raids. So this will be 5 weeks start to start instead of 4, which I am in favor of.
Lots of tokens to be had.
Yes. Somebody's gonna get a Ghost Crawler built. Hey, it's me. And then VXP weekend after the raid. So that'll be good because somebody's going to get a Ghost Crawler ranked, which will also be me. All right, let's move on. And my slide is not advancing. All right, my computer is behaving bad. Oh, there we go. And of course, it went forward like a bazillion slides. So you get a sneak preview of the rest of the show. So last week I had a spare computer because my network connectivity was behaving badly. This week it's not just my network, but computer. Okay, we're back where we ought to be, so I'll quit ranting about my computer. So we've got a Geek Corner, and this is for those of you working on Harlock Citadels, although I think this also goes for regular Citadels if you're still building those.
Oh, and it also goes for Nova Storms and TNXs and anybody that owns the coaxial Firestorm and are using those to do the Forsaken Mission. I mean, personally...
Keep talking, Hefe.
Okay. Personally, the way I do the Forsaken Mission is with the 107s, I'll hit one side, I'll pull out, and then I'll instant repair, and then I'll go to the other side, I'll pull out, I'll instant repair, and then I'll hit the rest of it. And what I was trying to do with this was show you that judgment mortars, while good and very, especially exceptional, I think, in base hitting for people that have antis over the coaxial Firestorm because of the MERV action, basically distracting the gales and bombards and what else that's going on. The issue I'm trying to show here is that first, the thing I didn't realize until this week, that the Citadels, both the Harlock Citadel and the normal Citadel, have the worst repair efficiency of any hull. Most hulls are at 0.8, which means that it takes 0.8 seconds to repair 1 point of armor. The Citadels are 1 point per 1 second. And so if you build a hull with judgment mortars, you end up with a repair efficiency of 1. So that means that every point of damage, it takes a second. And then we're going to go for the coaxial Firestorm, which is a great mortar. It does more damage, DPS and TPS per ton and whatnot. Same range as the Judgment Mortar. Doesn't have the MERV action going on, But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to dilute it. We're trying to dilute that, that 100%, the 1.0 repair efficiency with some of these coaxial firestorms, which have the best repair efficiency of any weapon that has armor. The one that's second is the concussive Gatling gun. And what you're doing here is, I gave everybody a little visual clue. Is you're taking the 100 proof whiskey, the 1%, and you're dropping it in, 100 proof,
50%.
100%, and then we're dropping it into the beer, which is, if it's a 7% beer, it's 14 proof, and we're diluting it. And so what happens is your repair per 1,000 points goes from 16 minutes 40 seconds down to 4 minutes 25 seconds. And this allows you to do what I was describing my technique very easily, because you're going to take a quarter of the damage that you were before just by adding the coaxial firestorm, assuming you're not adding any other armor, because with a build like this, you're already at close to 22,000 armor for a ship that rarely gets hit. It's not a brute tank type of ship in most people's fleets, but it dilutes it. You have the same amount of you have the same amount of. You want to say something?
Well, yeah, so, I mean, just to kind of sum it up, right? You add about a half-hour repair time, but you almost triple your health. And so, if you take a certain amount of damage, it's going to repair faster, even though a sunken ship will take longer to repair.
Yeah, but you're going to hit more, and I'm saying with
Yep.
sort of the technique that I use, where I'm hitting a corner at a time, and then I'm coming out and I'm instant repairing.
Yep.
It's much easier to repair that 4 minutes, which is actually closer to 2 minutes once you get this build done, and just instant repair it and go back and hit it again. So that was the main point of this, and it's just a matter of diluting that the repair efficiency of the hull with the repair efficiency of the armor associated with the coaxial firestorm.
Yep. All right. Excellent. Let's keep rolling.
Okay.
Geek Corner number 2. This one's a little tighter chart, harder to read, but I'm just going to say hotter chick. Put that out there.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, everybody liked the chick in the
yeah.
last one.
Oh, yeah. That was beer, not a chick.
Yeah, whatever.
I get confused sometimes.
Yeah.
I told you it's a little late. I'm going to drink a little more beer. Hang on.
Okay.
All right. So we're talking about how to best protect your Hell Race versus the current Reaver Death Boom. And this is an interesting chart, and it's going to talk about repair efficiencies and relative repair times. But you do have to keep in mind that it assumes a certain amount of damage from explosive, a certain amount of damage from plasma, and if Kixeye changes that ratio and maybe even the amount, because deflection figures in here, then maybe the relative goodness of these various protection types is going to change.
Yeah, I mean, looking at them, if you're going to do some sort of sensitivity analysis on this, it appears to be the assault deflection that really swings what we did.
Agreed.
In the table.
Yeah. So what you can see is, and these are kind of based on the Hellwraith builds that I put in my blog, these 2D5 and 2D3 armors, because that's what I used. This third line here is the one I actually have built so far. I've got 2 of these already, and they're very nice. So anyway, you can see that as you add different armor mixes, you get different armor points. You get different explosive defense, and again, explosive defense is the primary damage type from the death boom. You get some assault deflection. 100 is built into the Hellwraith hull. An extra 20 coming from some of those D5 armors, but not D5S. And then, so if you do the repair time and the armor points, you can get a repair efficiency. So all these armors are reducing your repair efficiency, but they are protecting you. So your relative repair from the death boom is usually, not always, but usually getting better. So you can see.
When I set it up, I set the no armor as sort of the baseline,
Yep.
and then I compared it to the rest. And some of the confusion might be like, well, it's got the same number of armor points, so why does it have a different repair efficiency and whatnot? Because when you add the armor to the Hellwraith, which has a 0.49 repair efficiency, the D5S and the CT and any of the S armors have a...
those are 1 or 0.8?
Those are 0.8.
Yeah.
And the X's have a 0.6 repair efficiency.
Yep.
So that means that they're going to repair faster than the rest of them. So if there's any confusion about that, that's, like looking at the numbers, it's because the X, out of this group, the X is the only one with the 0.6 repair efficiency. The rest of them are 0.8.
All right. So anyway, you can see that, I mean, I think the most obvious trend here is that the more X armor you add, the better your relative repairs are, the quicker your relative repairs are from that death boom. Now, again, my build doesn't look too hot. It's a little worse than no armor. But it helps me if I screw up, right? If I have that concussive defense, I'm going to last longer against those chain guns, not the chain guns, the Gatling guns on the on those Reavers if they spot me. And then also with my S armor, I'm less likely to get spotted. So, I don't feel too bad about this build, but clearly there's some better ways to go, possibly. If you go all D5X,
yeah, possibly because at the end of the day, we don't know what the enemy sonar is going to be, and if that extra cloaking efficiency is going to be helpful.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to take a time out since I'm watching chat. I got one question from James that don't have a Hellwraith. Would it be worth it to put D5X on to get a little deflection? I'm thinking on that one.
Well, it'd be good if you told us what is the
Well,
hull he is using.
Yeah, if it's Tiger, he's probably got the weight for it. But any other sub, probably not.
Yeah, because it would seem heavy for the rest of them. I didn't look at that one and this one, just because, part of the reason that we went with the relative repair number is because we don't really know what the targets are going to be. This assumes like that you hit about 10 targets that are going to go boom, and that there's about a 10% plasma damage relative to explosive damage on those booms.
Was it? I thought it was about 20. I thought it was 250 plasma and 1,000 explosive.
Last I looked, it was 10.
Oh, okay. All right, so you changed it.
Okay. I don't know if I changed anything, but that was what the I based it on the numbers that I could get from the data mining a couple of days ago, and it hasn't changed in the last couple of days. But yeah, that's why I added in like the the second to the last one, the D5X times 2 times 2 D2S, just to, because we don't know what, the impact of cloaking efficiency is. Right
Yeah.
now, the assumption is that the big ships are going to have a sonar range of 100, and the drones are going to have a sonar range of about 150. So,
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll know more after this preview, a better idea of what different um, cloaks are really going to do. And it looks like we got some follow-ups in chat. Actually, the guy who was asking the question, James, said he's looking at CUDA or Spectre. He says he can get one D5X on there. You know, I might, instead of going that direction, if you're looking at those really little hulls, I might just load up on D1X instead, and it'll build faster, and you'll get the resistance even if you won't get the deflection. I think that's probably how I'd go without resorting to math. So, anyway, you got options, and so there you go. You want to talk about this one anymore?
I think we're done. I mean, we had the girl in glasses, for the Geek Corner of last week that we did on the Friday show, where what we're trying to do here is with this is not tell you how to exactly build, because we're trying to give you the information that we're, we run spreadsheets and try and figure everything out. Because last week is how concussive stacks with torpedo damage, with the Hell Race, and just give you all the information that we can, because we don't know everything that you guys have and whatnot, but just try to provide as much information that we can that's like usable to a lot of people. So that's about it. And they're always going to have little, cute little girls with glasses on, since they're, geeky.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Or they're geek wannabes.
Mm-hmm.
Posers.
Yes.
Speaking of posers, here's another one. Because you don't sit on the table you're cleaning. That's just silly.
Mm.
Okay, chore helper.
You want me to explain this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. I find the most annoying chore that we can do in this game is at 9 levels of the objective R&D, we're required to repair our ship armor. So you basically got to go out, blow your ships up, and then come back and repair them. And at level 30, it's 200,000 armor points. At level 15, it's 150,000 armor points. So it's a lot of armor points. If you look at it, if it's the little box at the bottom, 200,000 armor points with a normal ship is a close to 2
time.
days. It's close to 2 days of just blowing up your ships for no purpose and then coming back. What I did, because I didn't really like R&D there for a while because it didn't seem to have a purpose, is I just hit 15 a couple of days ago. I took my Vanquisher and I put it outside of my, it's in part of my base card in the 16th dock slot. I put it outside of my channel, but still inside my base. And then I had somebody come by and hit it with one salvo
of torpedoes.
Torpedoes from a Hell Wraith. So he didn't take any damage. Gave me about 4.5 minutes of damage. And I instant repaired and came back again, hit it again. By the 4th time, I had already had over the 150,000 because of the insane multiplier on this. The multiplier of the Vanquisher, as far as the repair efficiency, is 1.8% relative to all normal hulls. So you want to do the 1 over number? I mean, you're doing less than 2% of the repair time relative to pretty much most of the other hulls. Some of the ones that do have lower repair efficiencies, but if you then combine it with having in your guard slot, which even splits that in half, is an MCX. If you're
Oh,
lower level, a DNX. These all have a lot of your Conqueror halls.
yep, Conqueror hulls. That's what I was gonna bust in with.
Yeah, these all provide you a great amount of savings over that 2 days to do that. But I mean, the Vanquisher just rules them all as far as being, 1.8% of the
Yeah,
repair time relative to the amount of armor damage that you take.
yeah. We got 99s mentioning in chat that Goliath is 10K per 30 minutes. That's another good one.
Yeah, is that at um, with the
I'm not sure.
maximum?
I'm not sure if that's including the half repair. But
Yeah,
these are good tips. And honestly, first time I read this slide, I didn't get that that's what you're doing is just repairing armor. So
yeah. I told you once I explained it, you would like the idea. But yeah,
I do like
because
the
it's
idea.
because otherwise it's one of the most meaningless
Yep.
things to achieve is
Yep.
to just take damage and repair it. So I don't consider this cheating. I consider Kixeye even putting that in there as an objective to be
Well,
not their best idea.
not their best idea. And the point is, I don't consider it at all cheating. You're doing what they're saying you need to do. You're
Hmm.
doing it in the most efficient way possible. So good job, good helper. We all learned something today. All right. Let's talk about choke point TLC. Um, okay. So choke point, the regular one, prize pack 1, Harrier guided missile system and speed 4. Second pack is the Rhino. Third pack you can do twice and get 2 Savage Kodiaks, although you probably don't need more than one. These are all good prizes. If you don't have them, you should do them. And then choke point elite, Deadeye Executioner, which I don't know if that one's really worth the build time. What do you think?
I
If you
don't
don't
know
have the
how.
regular one, it's a good base weapon to have. Even if you only grab one, it'll help stop people from using. Well, if you place it right, it'll stop people from using ECM and the Luke Tigers to prep you.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's got the 200 range on it, which is, I believe it's 50 more than the regular one.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. The long range can cover outside your base and help out. That's an excellent thought. So, um, yeah. But I'll be doing this just for the structure token. Um, because 7-day structure build, that almost speeds up a turret level, which is great. Um, when you hit 5, 6, and 7, they take well over 9 days, 10 days. Um, so those are great, and a lot of people kind of need a refresher on choke point. They're like, how did I do this again? And if you remember the targets, you've got some V2s with thermal, and those V2s fire launchers and then like a little torpedo. And then you've got Kodiaks with missiles. You've got Reapers with some torps and missiles. And then you've got a few heavy cruisers with scatterguns. Um, Back when this was like a new thing, the way that most people were doing this campaign was with a Punisher and a Harlock Aegis and 3 Rhinos. And you put some phalanx on to at least cut some of the Kodiak missiles, and you've got high evade on that Punisher, and you use it as a tank, and it's got all the deflection, and that did pretty well. Um, and I did one run through last night and finished it with that fleet and didn't have to repair at all. Didn't have to. Only took damage on the Punisher and didn't have to repair. I was able to do it without coining. Um, but I did the first 3 runs with Hellwraiths, and it's kind of cool. And if you haven't heard about this or seen it, the deal is the V2s will see you, but the only weapon that hits underwater is this little dinky torpedo, and it barely tickles because we're building these Hellwraiths with a lot of concussive defense, and they've got the deflection, and those launchers don't hit you. So if you take out the V2s and you're not in range of the Kodiaks or any of the other ships when the V2s see you, then you can take out the V2s pretty quick, even with fire twisters against the moving targets. And then the other ships don't have any thermal, and they're just sitting ducks. And so you can blast through. I went through the first 3 and died in the 4th because I drove poorly. Tito, who's absent tonight, said he went through the first 6, actually, of Choke Point and with Hellwraiths. So that's pretty cool. It was actually really fun to do. I recommend it if you've got the Hellwraith. Just try it. It's really fun. And then the 7th encounter, there's a Mega, and it's kind of scary because we remember Megas as being scary. But actually, it just fires some missiles, and they're not even splash missiles, and so they don't do much damage, and it dies pretty quick. So, straightforward campaign. Any of these prizes that you don't have, it's worth doing. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. Anything else on these?
On the left side or both sides?
Either side.
I found it, as far as the Choke Point Elite, I found it interesting that you can stack up all 5 of your 7-day structure build tokens and keep around 35 days of structure builds, which should help a lot of people that maybe left the game or whatnot. But not equipping a turret, but upgrading a turret. As far as getting to level 7 turrets, 35 days should be a good amount of help.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not a big fan of the Deadeye Executioner, but the structure build tokens I like.
Yeah.
And the other issue I have with this, why is the non-elite choke point a TLC as opposed to a static normal campaign?
Yeah, these are that's an excellent point, and those especially the first 2 prize packs are really almost necessities to step up in this game, and they would be good. I think it belongs in the regular campaign list, not TLC, as well. Totally agree. I think one more thing about Choke Point Elite. I was wondering, I'll say, whether Apollos would do really well on that. And what I heard is that the launchers on the V2s actually do eat up Apollos. So you might want to try and find your old Punisher.
Well, I heard if you drive right, you can outrange them, but if they hit you, then yeah, it hurts.
Okay. Yeah, I think those launchers are like 94, 95 range.
So if you drive good, the Apollos with the Solid Fuel Booster 3, they outrange it, but your issue is staying at that range where you can fire, but keeping the distance where they don't fire at you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the next raid. Rise of the Warlords. Begins in 2 weeks. All new Reaver holdouts. We've seen kind of kick-size attempts at making these targets challenging for everything but sub. Well, almost impossible for everything but subs is what they're going for. And then having it so subs take some damage but not too much damage. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's really tricky for them. And honestly, I mean, I thought doing choke point with Hellrace was more fun than any of these Reaver holdout targets, but whatever. Um, so they showed some previews of the prizes. You've got the Fury, which is going to be a Reaver Conqueror hull that's optimized for scatterguns. A new scattergun that causes explosions in classic Reaver style. And then a hydroxide injector benefiting multi-shot and corrosive, obviously also targeted at scatterguns. So all good. Anything else we want to talk about these prizes?
I don't think we know enough about them to talk too much more about them.
Yep.
I mean, besides the fact that, scatterguns / rockets as a base hitter in the past haven't lasted too long, but who knows with the new system that they'll last longer. As a niche player, because it seems like we're supposed to combine our Conqueror hulls and do good things with them, not run 5 of them at a time in order to get into a base. So it may have a role based on the fact that the way that they seem to be changing the game.
Yeah, I've built like 2 Revenge and 2 Retribution and now like 3 or 4 Vendettas, and it's kind of fun to have a mix and try to pick the best ship for the task. So I do kind of like where they're going with all these Conquerors.
And also the Fury looked like it's supposed to stab ships. Not really shoot anything out of them. If you look at that, it looks like it's supposed to be like, Grecian times, and there's some sort of, ram that I'm going to ram your ship and sink it. But whatever, that's just my opinion.
Do you remember that movie Phantasm with the flying ball that had those spikes sticking out and like stick in some dude's forehead?
No, but I can say I did if you want me to.
Well, if you don't, you didn't. But
No, I don't.
Since you brought up spikes that look like stabbing things, that's what it reminds me of. Phantasm with the ball that.
No, because I know back in the good old days, Athens, at that point they would, they would run a ram in front of their ship and try and sink people that way. And this is sort of what this looks like.
Okay, maybe.
Whatever. But I don't see any mechanism in the game for that. That if you run somebody over with your ship, this would be a completely new mechanism. But we can go on. I'm just ranting and raving. Whatever.
Cool. All right, let's keep going. All right, that's it for the raid. 2 weeks away. All right, Phantom TLC. They've been teasing this TLC. It was delayed. We thought we were getting a Phantom Hellwraith, and then so it starts next week, and it looks like there is no Phantom Hellwraith. So for those of us who already have all the other Phantoms we want, this might be skippable. Although the trend has been to throw some tokens and limited components and stuff. So maybe this will be something you want to do, even not for the Phantom subs, but I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
What do you think? You disappointed? No Phantom Hellwraith?
Well, they talked about it earlier, and a lot of people built their fleets based on the thought that there would be one. So it's a little bit disappointing that way.
Yeah.
But if they think it's going to be overpowering, because one of my comments when I was in the preview for the Hellwraith was that I love the ship and I would love to have it, but I don't want anybody else to have it because it's gonna it tears up other people's it tears up other players' ships, and if you have a Phantom version of that, you could just terrorize people. The amount of damage it does and the speed, it just tears everybody up. So I can understand them not wanting to provide a Phantom version of that because we don't have a defense against it as a player. I'm sure the Reavers have got one, but as a player, I don't have a defense against a Phantom Hellwraith.
Mm, yeah.
Do you?
Um. Yeah. No. No, I don't. Yes, dog's in bed.
Fine.
Anyway, sorry about that, guys. All right, let's keep going. So, Rise of the Warlords targets. Looks like we got a little out of order on these. Anyway, it looks like they're really targeting the tiers for the various types of subs. And I guess we'll see in a couple days from the preview whether they succeeded or not. Anything
Yeah.
else?
Nope.
All right. September Forsaken mission. Kixeye's been fooling around with the Forsaken mission. We saw 109s for 2 weeks. People refit ships, and then
One
the
week.
109s went away.
Yeah. I love the 109.
I needed to refit for it before I could love it. So anyway, it looks like, they talked about the 102s back when they were talking about the changes, and we never saw them. Now it looks like we're going to actually get the 102. Again, grind target, more hits to get to tier 5, but hopefully easier to do. So we'll see how that goes. And then the 109 will come back. It'll be tuned. We'll see how tuned it is. I know a lot of people were complaining about the plasma damage that you couldn't defend against. And then retune the 87s. And, the 87s are terrible targets. As the Forsaken mission stands now, especially if you can deal with those angry arcs, the 87 is harder than the 107. Gives you more damage. So that needs to be done. Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Anything else?
Nope. Just bring back the 109.
Yeah. Okay. More long term. So at September, they're going to be fooling around a little bit still. 107s, 102s, 109s, blah, blah, blah. And then October, the 107s are going away. So they say. 109s will be the thing to do. 102s might or might not show up. And then we've got some prize names for September. Shockwave plates 3 and 4. Those have been in the data mine stuff for a long time, but not actually available, so I guess they will finally be available. Splash dispersion system, that's interesting. Sounds like it's going to reduce splash damage. And
Yeah, I guess
then,
similar to what they've done. Okay, go ahead.
What?
I didn't have much to say to it. I was just going to comment on it, but go ahead.
And then solar reinforcements. So maybe that's some combo of solar panels that give you more power, but also actually provide some benefit to the thing they're on, defenses or something. I don't know. You how are you doing on power in your base? You getting close to out of power?
Personally, I have plenty, but I still haven't leveled everything up to level 7 towers. So, I mean, I think I have about 8 of them, or 7 or 8 of them at that level. And I'm okay at this point. I haven't really considered that as like a limiting factor. But
Yeah. I mean, those solar panels.
supposedly OP whatever is going to come out some point soon. So
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
I'm using well, I've got 8,000, but I'm about to pull everything off my outpost tomorrow, and that's going to give me an extra 6,000 power to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've only got about 7,000 or 8,000 left myself. And probably once I burn all these tokens and put some more transformers on, it's going to be pretty tight. So
Yeah, I had like 30,000 the other day, but I used tokens and base parts to put on a couple ant ties and 2 blunderbusses, so that ate up quite a bit of power.
mhm. All right, I guess we'll see how it goes. Again, only 3 new top tier prizes, so 1 extra set of tokens at least. Lately we've been seeing 4. It's gotta like that. And then Megaships. Maybe before we talk about this hiving info from the whip, um, the Megaship, what Clash of the Titans TLC is over. You needed a pretty juiced up Megaship, or at least a little bit juiced up Megaship to beat it. I tried throwing some concussive Gatling guns on mine and some DR cannons and was not quite able to get there. I sort of busted ass to try and do the war games all in a night and get all those Hyperion tokens, and then found out you cannot use Hyperion build tokens to add modules or add stuff to a module. So I busted ass to win useless tokens. I'm a little upset.
Well, like George in the chat. There's a couple people in the chat that were on the Friday night show, and I told everybody that.
Yeah, I should pay attention to these shows. They're just
Yeah. At least, at least our show. That would be cool.
yeah, our show's pretty good.
Yeah. You could have got that information Friday night and be cool with everything.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So anyway, yeah, I've got my Megaship though. It's you know, I think it's more fun to be in a Megaship battle with regular ships than it is to be one of the Megaships. I'm gonna put that out there. Let's just leave that as room for improvement. But yeah, I promise a build guide for Megaships on my blog sometime soon, hopefully in the next week. But now we've got another feature coming for Megaships to make them actually useful, other than just being, targets and something to do. It's hiving. Well, actually, this doesn't make them useful yet. So, hiving is a way that you can link Megaships together from the same alliance, and it allows the outer Megaships to protect the inner Megaships. And so yeah, you can configure your defenses. Megaships can support each other, hopefully, and these will make your Megaship stronger, so they can't just be picked off on defense like they seem to be now. The other thing they say is coming is being able to add drone modules to Megaships. This will aid you in combat against enemy fleets, so hopefully that will help even the odds when, again, you're offline and some online guy and his Megaship gets help from another online guy with some Conqueror hulls to take you out.
Well, going on, the thing about that is I was talking to a friend saying you can't dock them in the gantry, but a nice way to stop people from attacking them while you're offline is send them across the world.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. You send them all the way across the world, and it's like a day and a half or a day and 5 hours. They move really slow on the map. So, yeah, that is one way to keep your mega hull from getting attacked, is to just keep it in motion. So, there's another tip for you.
And Larry, how many people do you think actually have mega hulls? Or mega ships, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know yet. I mean, we were debating on that last week. Now that there's 11 days of Hyperion tokens that have been available, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see more and more over the next couple weeks. So,
Okay.
it's going to be a thing, and I don't know. It's another thing to do. Right now the problem I think is that there's just not much to do with your mega hull except attack other mega hulls. So, I think there needs to be more PvE content for these as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to keep in mind this is the beginning stages of it, so it's going to be a bit boring up until they decide fully where they want it to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would hope to see, alliance benefits coming from mega hulls. You get a bunch and you hive them together, and then your alliance gets some kind of boost or something. That'd be cool. All right, on to screw ups. So, fleets damaged in dock after update again. Um, Now, I've been a victim of this, and I thought it was like just me, but of course it's not just me. It's Kixeye. Um, and we were talking about this before the show, and it sounds like there may actually be a clue as to why ships are getting damaged, and it has to do with refitting armor. Ships that have had their armor refit recently are getting damaged at each week's update. It's kind of weird, but it definitely correlates. I've updated the armor and actually reduced armor on 3 of my rhinos and then one of my crusaders, and those are the ships that are getting damaged each week. So it's just slightly annoying, especially right before a whole bunch of TLCs drop and you want to use some of these ships, and then all of a sudden they're magically damaged. Boo, kicks eye, fix your stupid game. All right, it's not a stupid game. Um, but I noticed the 25 friends is gone. Hefe?
Well, it's just because I've been
You said
barking
you were
up
gonna
that.
hold strong.
Well, it's again, I had to. I'll bring it back next week when they still haven't fixed it.
All right.
I was trying to reduce and trying to streamline the show. Based on your post, and I'm trying to add new content to the show. Like I did with the Geeks Corner and the chore thing, trying to please the people as far as things like that went. And so, I've already spent a minute talking about the fact that I don't have the 25 friends up there, but you know, we can probably move on then.
Okay.
I'm just trying to please the people. You know me.
Okay. And if you want to get the pictures for today's screw up and breakthrough, just take another look at the picture. Notice she's on the phone and she's not drinking her beer for the screw up. There you go.
Is that beer?
It's something.
Yeah, I don't think it's beer.
If you see something, say nothing and drink to forget.
Yes. Yeah.
So there you go.
Who is she? She's not like one of the Trump kids, is she?
I have no idea who she is.
Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
But the pictures made me laugh. They were actually side by side when I found them, so
Okay.
it was just funny. So breakthroughs. We have a couple breakthroughs this week, and I think it's been a while since we've had one. Dark Reign 2. I think people like that campaign. It wasn't too difficult. I mean, if you've done anything to get ready for the last set of raids, you could probably do Dark Reign 2. And then the prizes were good. Vendettas. People wanted vendettas. We got vendettas.
And we got to do it, the coaxial firestorm, which I think is potentially even a better prize,
Yeah.
especially for lower level people.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. And then shard hunt. So again, it's hit targets on the map to get shards for the what do we call them? Super halls. They're not mega halls. Super halls.
Megaships.
Protonems and halls. No, they're not megaships.
Can we rename them sexy halls?
Sexy.
Since now that you have a ghost crawler, we can start calling them sexy halls.
Big sexy.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Shard hunt is how I finished my ghost crawler. I had 14 shards to go, and I got them. Luckily, I was on when that dropped, because I think most worlds the shards for the ghost crawler got sucked up in a couple hours, and that's kind of the point. I think all the shards got used up, except maybe the Proto-Nemesis. But this was a lot more popular than it had been, and I think the reason for it, and we all think the reason for it, is because the shard drops were guaranteed instead of, oh, hit 3 or 4 and maybe you'll get a shard.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, people don't like to, trust the random drop. So, yeah, it's like if I do this, I'm going to spend this coin, I'm going to get this.
Yep.
That's what people did.
Yep. That's what I did. How about you, Hefe, Chris? You guys participate in Shard Hunt for some
I didn't
shards?
do much, but I did test my second ghost to build out on the targets just because I wanted to see how it did. It did pretty well, and I grabbed I think 4 Proto-Nemesis shards and 2 Hellstar shards. Wasn't even able to get Ghostcrawler shards because I logged on and they were all done. And I
Yeah.
really don't care to have a Man of War, so I didn't even bother.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the Man of War seemed like it was maybe second most popular in terms of how fast they went. And
To me, the Hellstar was the second most popular. It went not as fast as the Ghostcrawler, but it still went.
okay. Yeah,
I know
maybe.
a friend, he completed his Ghostcrawler with the shards, and I
Nice.
haven't heard anybody completing their Man of War with the shards from this, but I do know a few people who have them.
Do they use them? What do they use them for?
Um, well, the one I saw, he was just ranking it, and then my friend has yet to build his.
Yeah.
But he doesn't even know what he's going to build it for if he does build it. And
Right, right. I don't know what you'd build it for. I mean, I think the way it's built-in stuff is, it's probably going to be pretty good in mines, but I mean,
he
to
could
learn
probably
more
do a
about
good build for the 109s with it, using a mixture of Arblast and the Drac Railgun.
yeah, maybe, but if there's plasma damage, I mean,
Well, there's nothing else that has plasma defense, so it's on the same thing as every other ship in that level.
yeah, except it's got a 400% repair modifier, so it's going to take a full turn.
Yeah, but some people have more coins than brains, so.
Well, yeah, that's fine, but I, I mean, it would be nice to have something that you could recommend you build it for, rather than just, yeah, I got a Man of War.
Or
Well, the thing is
Drake
if you're
bases.
looking at the
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing here, I think.
You want me to have you stop sharing?
I'm good. I
Okay.
figured it out. Yeah. Um, so that's the slides. It's been an hour. It's probably about the show.
Okay.
Um,
Well, should I open it up to the after show?
yeah, I'm probably not gonna be able to hang around for the after show tonight, but yeah, you should open it
Well,
up.
that's good. We
So
can talk
let's
about
come
you
and
then.
hang out. You can talk about me. You can say bad things. You can say good things. Um,
Oh, why do you assume bad things? Jesus Christ.
say bad things. I don't care.
you failed
My.
in my base, yeah, bad things.
Actually, it's probably more. You've been hitting little low-level bases, you meanie. That'd probably be more accurate. Um, yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else to say tonight? Looks like actually we got people coming in already. So, again, thanks for joining us tonight. If you're watching in the future, thank you for joining us in the future. Um, the BP Professor blog is at bpprof.blogspot.com. Hefe and Chris, you guys don't have blogs, but that's okay. We like you anyway. But, good night, everybody.
Night.
All right, Hefe, you can hit the button.
Alrighty. Later, everybody. I posted the link.